What's going on, everybody? We back here for an episode of All In. My brothers, Quan and Lace. What's going on with y'all boys?
It's all good, baby. You already know.
Good Wednesday, we living.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. What's going on with this? Baltimore got the dub Pittsburgh got the dub over Baltimore. They did not cover that 14-point spread. I know me and you, Quan, we talked about that earlier. We was definitely against that. So, man, I'm sorry to all the people that took that bet. It didn't go as y'all planned. But Pittsburgh is still undefeated. How y'all feel about them being 11-0 real quick?
Man, I think they walking a little lucky right now. You know what I'm saying? I look at this game particularly. I mean, Baltimore's got a good defense, but they had that 14 spread there for a reason. Like, we called it. We didn't think they was going to cover simply because we've been watching them for about the past 7 weeks struggle now. So I can't take it away from them. They undefeated, but I think they're in for a rude awakening. I think playoffs is going to be real slim for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 11-0 is 11-0. You really can't argue with it when you want to really get down to the facts. But like Quan said, once you go back and look at the footage, or if you go check out some of those dubs, how stuff was coming, a lot of defensive touchdowns, stuff like that. I mean, it's hard to depend on your defense to win games every single game, but they do have weapons. I do think they're a beatable team, but I mean, I won't take any credit away from the 11-0. I mean, they earned it, so it is what it is.
I give a hot take here. All the viewers, y'all heard it here first. Pittsburgh is going to get the first round bye in the playoffs. We all know that. But what some people might be forgetting is there's going to be a team like Indy or Tennessee that's going to see them in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So you heard it here first. If they see a team like that, Pittsburgh getting bounced in the divisional round of the playoffs this year. Y'all heard it here first at All In. So with that being said, man,
out of there.
Let's go ahead and dive into it, Quan. What we're going to do today is we're going to kind of tell everybody what our betting strategies are. Everybody bets differently, so we just want to give the viewers, our perspective on why we take the bets we take. So Quan, what's your betting strategy?
Yeah, my betting strategy is really to evaluate both teams. So number one, to evaluate both teams is seeing who's healthy, and then following to see who's healthy is really what those matchups look like. So, for instance, we got this Baltimore and Steelers game that took place today. So the first thing that came to my mind is everybody knows we got the star out, but then we turn around and we got, you know what I'm saying, the whole rushing game, in my opinion, really out of the picture. So that really blew the whole 14-point spread for me. You know what I'm saying? I just instantly knew that the game wasn't going to do that. Lace actually brought it up. They actually got a defensive score in this game here today. So I think that's really what I look at is those injuries, match that up to exactly what players are on the field and what those matchups look like. And then also dig into what those previous games look like, because teams also operate on streaks. So look at is what they previously been doing, what they previously having success with, and will that carry into the next game based off the matchup.
So do you ever look at the lines at all? You just strictly go off the matchup? Do you ever take a look at the lines before you start digging into the matchups at all?
I don't, honestly, just because that's not really my specialty. But what I do is I like to utilize my resources. So while you guys are here, also listening to us, I also, you know what I'm saying, kind of have a betting mentor myself, Mr. Darren Hicks. So I will tap into him more such on the money line, and he might remind me like, hey man, look, they got it here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this. So once he's able to give me that, then I am able to go back and re-strategize. But like he said, you got to find your niche, and I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm thankful to have a team that can help me pick up, you know what I'm saying, where I'm missing the pieces at. And my strategy is breakdown. That's what I understand as a player, is break down the game. And so then just to make sure I'm making a good decision, that's where some of that help comes in on the money line. So I do alter some of my decisions on the money line. on the betting thing, but I utilize some resources. So I'll let you kind of talk on that to help our audience.
Definitely. Before I get into that, Lace, we want to hear what your betting strategy is.
I think for me, I kind of like to look at things side by side. So I always look for what I think is going to be a gimme. Nothing in the betting or sports betting is ever really a gimme, but I look for what I think is going to be a gimme mismatch wise. And if I feel like a matchup is maybe tiered or there's an obvious favorite, then that's when I look at what that spread is. Now, a lot of times what you'll see is like when there's a big drop off, there's this huge spread, and a lot of times it's hard to cover, especially when you're looking at the NFL. Anything can happen. I mean, a field goal here and a missed extra point here, and you missed a 10-point spread, So,
and real quick, man, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm glad you brought that up because that actually just happened on Monday Night Football with that Eagles Seahawks. They had the spread set at 7, then at halftime it was adjusted to 6.5. You see Seattle, what they were up they were up 14. And here goes Philly. They get a touchdown with 12 seconds left. Instead of kicking a field goal, they go for 2 and get it. So for all of us who bet the spread, like you said, a missed field goal, 2-point conversion, a late touchdown, that type of stuff can cost you right there.
Easily. And it's so many changes, and I feel like it's a little bit different in the NCAA. There's the spreads. I feel like you're gonna score a lot more points in college than you are in the pros. That's just a fact. So the spreads are gonna be, adjusted accordingly. So for me, I like looking at those side by side. Me personally, I really get into the player props. I think if you've got a certain, I feel like it's safe to take 4 or 5 players that you're really following, that you're really breaking down. Okay, which type of teams do they do the best against? Okay, I know this team is going to play more like a softer, like cover 2 and kind of let the quarterback dig into the holes. Maybe take a receptions props on that player, predicting that he's going to get a lot of receptions to try to break through that zone like he did in, a previous week. So when you're studying a certain group of players, your focus group is more concentrated. So you're going to be able to concentrate more on their production, and then hopefully predict kind of like what Quan said, maybe find a trend or something like that in the future. So I think just sticking with those 2 aspects, I'll try to stick with that. And I think a big thing Quan said is bouncing ideas off each other. Just being able to have a unit to get a second opinion on A, and B, get something that I wouldn't think about, as far as, maybe the money line on a certain game or something like that, or a different matchup. But I like to stick to the props and pretty much just, I like to spread over like the over under and money line and stuff like that.
And also, I was going to say real quick before you dig into it, Hicks, just to circle back around to your question that you had towards you got to find a that also works for you. You got to find something So for me, what I'm saying, I believe in that breakdown, that game. That may question my opinion. It's okay, well, why do they have this all the way up here? But if it doesn't make sense to me, I got to stay true, to what my strategy is. So also make sure you find, find your own niche so that you can be direct and keep a path instead of just being all over the place.
Absolutely. I love it, man. Like you said, if you got something that works, just stick to it. Because in this game, you ain't gonna win them all, but just always stay true to your strategy. Me personally, I kind of do a little bit of opposite of what y'all do. Before I even go into the matchup breakdown or the players, I go look at the lines first. Because when Vegas sets these lines, they know what they're doing. But again, this past Monday was a perfect example. I mean, anytime over-under set, a spread is set, if you ever notice, the result is always pretty close to that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not to say that it's always close to it, but oftentimes, especially in the NFL, it's going to be real close to that number. So I always look at the lines first. that also gives me an indication of what I need to look for when I go into the matchup breakdown. So a good example I have on that is 2 weeks ago, Wisconsin played Northwestern, and the over-under was set at 44 points. So me seeing that, I'm like, that seems pretty low, especially considering Wisconsin's put up 40 points in both of the games they played to that point. But then you go check out what's going on with the matchup. You see Wisconsin has their top 3 receivers out the game. So that alone kind of indicates to me that, okay, it's going to be one of those type of games, one of your typical Big Ten grinded out, low scoring game. And that's exactly what it was. So I always look at the lines first. Like I said, that gives me an indication of maybe something's going on in the matchup. I look for lines that are off. That's what I do first. Look for something that's off, then kind of dig into the matchup. Then I kind of get into that like you, Quan. I'm big on matchups. Also, as a boxing fan, I use this concept as well. Styles make matchups. You know what I'm saying? Team A could have blitzed Team B, and Team C could beat Team B. That don't necessarily mean that Team A is going to blitz Team C. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how those two teams are going to align when they're on the field together. So I try to look at the matchup, like Lay said, try to see like maybe there's a scheme that this team plays that's going to allow this team's strength is going to exploit that scheme. So I kind of dig into all those things, but I'll be honest, man, I look at a lot of the lines. A lot of my bets, I do a lot of fucking in my bets because I know I ain't going to win them all. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when I take a parlay, I'm just taking it, not really even expecting to win. Because at the end of the day, all betting is 50-50, man. This stuff can go either way. But I start with the lines, and then I kind of go into the matchups, see what I like, see what I don't like, and then I take some chances, man. I'm a risk taker, and I have no shame in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep taking my risk every week. But with that being said, you guys know our strategies. So when you guys hear us talk about the bets we're placing, you know where it's coming from. So Lace, what kind of bets are you looking at taking this weekend with college football or NFL?
I just been focusing on the NFL as of late. That's just what I've been more in tune with as far as watching. It's not that I'm not in tune with college football. I just feel like I've been able to follow the teams in the NFL a little more closely at this point. So I like that matchup with the Saints and the Falcons. The Saints are a favorite, but only with a 2.5 point spread. And, kind of like what I said previously, I look at this matchup, I analyze it first, and even though there are a few injuries on the Saints end, I just think that that's a team that's a lot better than the Falcons as an organization. Coaching wise, I'm just looking at the past performances between both two teams, and 2.5 points really is nothing. I just feel like it's almost a little bit disrespectful. So anytime I see a bet like that, that's something that immediately I go with my gut on. I'm not as much really as a risk taker, but I do like going with my initial feeling. I don't want to think about it too much. Something like that, I see it, it looks good, I evaluate it, I know it's straight. Boom, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm all in on that. As well as a similar matchup, I think, between the Texans and the Colts. The Colts are a 3-point favorite. I think they could easily cover that spread against a Texans team that's a little bit banged up and a Colts team that's got something to prove. You kind of looking at opposite ends of the spectrum. I think Phillip Rivers is able to close out a lot of games. I've actually been following the Colts pretty close, and I think at the end of those games, he's able to pull it through. They finish. So I think all that
finisher.
3 points, that's finishing the game right there. Whether it's a field goal, a touchdown, whatever it is, that's me putting my faith in the Colts to finish the game. I think they will. So again, that's me being safe. I'm a safe better. I think those are two safe bets for me to be all in on.
Hey man, gotta step out your comfort zone, my brother. You gotta think for the fences every once in a while, man. Ain't no wrong.
Yeah, I do. Every once in a while. It's a safe week. It's a safe week, baby.
Hey, get them wins in though. Get them wins in. I said get them wins in. You know what I'm saying? We on this thing to make money. You know what I'm saying? Find your lane. Find what it is that make you money. If it's come across some safe bets like Lace came across, Shoot,
Yeah,
get that
it's
bread.
safe.
That's the only
But
reason
anyway,
we're betting for.
we're
Facts.
just trying to stay in the green at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
In the That's the point. In the
Long as
green.
you're in the green, you good.
That's it.
Man, so Quan, what you like this weekend, man? I know we talked a little earlier, but go ahead and let everybody else know what you all in on this weekend.
Yeah, I like a conference that's got a lot of exposure this year. The MAC conference, you know what I'm saying? They've been playing some
Action.
games that they've been playing during the week, getting a lot of exposure. Actually, you know, with us, we're all originally from Ohio, so the MAC is actually not really that's not a surprise for us. You know what I'm saying? The MAC is actually pretty much right in our backyard. So when I look at that matchup, I'm looking at the Buffalo and who was Buffalo? My bad, Buffalo and Ohio. So I'm just so all in on Buffalo, I forgot about Ohio. So I mean, I'm sure y'all saw the news. They had a guy rush for 8 touchdowns last week. You know what I'm saying? Buffalo, in my opinion, is by far the best team in the MAC. High-powered offense, and going up against the matchup who they went against last week. They went against Kent State. They went against another solid team. You know what I'm saying? And put up a tremendous amount of points. So
I put the 70 piece on them boys.
Boy, 70 piece. You would have. They started college basketball last week. I thought the score. but nah. In all reality, that spread. The spread is at 11. I think that's a walk. I think 11 points is easy. I think the spread is covered in the first half. That's how all in I'm in on this bet. And then second to that, I'm also all in on the over. The over is only at 58. You know what I'm saying? I think, like he said, they put up 70.
They covered by themselves last week.
I don't think they put up 70 again, but you know what I'm saying? I think I easily think they cover the majority of the spread themselves. And at the end of the day, it is still MAC football. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things happen in the MAC. They're known for putting points on the board. Ohio's going to score some points in this game. They're just not going to be within reason. But so this is actually one of the ones where we talked about a little risk taking. If you want to be safe, most definitely play the spreads straight up. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get a little bit more riskier, you know what I'm saying, play the over. But if you really want to, what I would say, go with a calculated risk, you know what I'm saying, I would actually parlay the spread and the over. You know what I'm saying?
Now talk to them real quick about the parlay, because I know I brought it up. Now you bringing it up. I know a lot of people aren't into sports betting. Explain to them what a parlay is.
Yeah, so correct me if you got a better way of saying it, either one of you. But the parlay is where you're taking multiple bets. So it has to at least be more than one. But this is now increasing your chances to win more money, but it's also increasing you to a larger risk. So it's kind of like, so if let's say I play a bet over here on the left side and this bet wins, but I'm doing a parlay and I played the bet on the right side and the bet on the right side doesn't win. Well, now I walk away with $0. Whereas if you would have played straight up, you would have won the money on the left and just lost the money on the right. Kind of where I come in, we're being a little bit of a risk taker. Not so much blind risk. I like to call these calculated risk. This is one of the ones that I think are much, much safer. So I would actually combine both of these two, both the spread and the over. And I think you're in good hands on this bet here. And just go challenge me, go study up on a little bit, and it'll make 100% sense to you as well on why you should take both of these.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going from they have the odds at what, minus 110 on both the over and the spread. So you're going from minus 110 on two separate bets to plus 260 on the odd side. So now you're going from, if you just put $50 up on that parlay and it hits, you just made $130 quick. You know, so
quick.
Calculate it. I like that bet a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna co-sign you on that. I'm gonna be all in on that one with you. Kind of sticking with it, staying in the action a little bit. I got a few bets I'm all in on this Saturday. Sticking in the action. I like Ball State and Central Michigan to go over 62.
Okay.
I also like Toledo and Northern Illinois to go over 56. I'm not going to parlay them. I'm going to play those two separate. They're both at odds of minus 110. I'm not going to put the whole 110 up. I'm going to just do 50 each. I'm going to be a little modest this weekend. I'm going to try to save some money for some parlays. I know one thing we were talking about before we got on the call was this Ohio State-Michigan State game. They have the over-under set at 59.5. Now, we all know, everybody in the country knows Ohio State, they're walking 45, 52
Easily.
50. You know, it doesn't take much. They got home run hitters. They got a top 2 to 3 quarterback in the country. They're a greatly coached team. So like I said, they're very they're capable of getting 59 by themselves if we're being honest.
Yeah. It's
so
just
easily.
I like that to go over 59.5. At that point, we're just hoping Michigan State could at least score, 7 to 10 points. We think Ohio State's going to take care of the rest.
at least.
And they can get that in garbage time for all I care. But I like them on the over. And then getting into the NFL side a little bit, I like the Raiders to bounce back. They got curb stomped by the Falcons. I don't even know how it happened. But I think they're going to bounce back.
Man, that was
the Jets.
crazy.
They got them as 8-point favorites. I think that's reasonable. They're awful.
Jets
if you guys
awful.
haven't had the
Terrible.
opportunity to watch the Jets play, don't bother this week. They're not even worth the watch. So I'm all in on them on the 8-point spread. And the only other bet that I'm really truly all in on this week is, Lace, you already touched on this one, that Indy versus Houston spread. I think with Will Fuller being hurt, I love what Deshaun Watson doing this year, but Will Fuller's his guy. And Will Fuller's the guy, he takes the top off of defense. Without him going up against one of the league's top 3 defenses, it's gonna be slow for Houston. I think Indy bounces back from getting stomped at home by Tennessee last week, and I think they're gonna put it on Houston a little bit. I say they'll win by at least 10 points.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah,
I
I'm with
agree
you
totally.
on that. Nice little bounce back. I think they're gonna have to.
Mhm.
I mean, I think they got something to prove. So we'll see.
Definitely. That AFC South division is up for grabs between them and Tennessee. They split their season series at 1-1. So I know both teams are looking at these last was it like 5-6 games left? I know they're
full. Yeah.
So,
they're both looking at them like they got to win out. They both want to win out. So
yeah, there's 5 left.
I think they bounce back, man. Any parlays going on this week besides the one you just said, Quan?
Man, no, not currently. I think that I'll let y'all touch on it. I know specifically Lace has some player props that he wanted to look at as we get closer, to the end of the week. And I think that might influence a little bit more on the parlay action for me. But I want to go get right off to a good start with the like I said, get to a good start with that Buffalo, Ohio. And I am very, very confident in that Ohio State game going over. So I am also interested in putting together another parlay with them if I can find another safe bet, college football wise on the overside.
On the 2-bet parlay.
Yeah, I'm a 2-bet kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? 3
I swing for the
cool.
have worked out for me.
That 3, hey, I'm gonna find me a 3. Leave it to next week. I'm gonna find me a nice little 3-piece for next week. That's gonna be something smooth. Maybe 2.
Okay.
Maybe a college football and an NFL one.
Hey, that's how
it's
the pros
cool to
do
go
it right there, bro. That's how the pros do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to try to balance something out. Maybe you lose on one parlay and you hit on another one. I think that's another strategy tip for some beginners looking to get into it. Just try to find a way to balance your risk out. If maybe you do want to take a risk, take another safer bet on another end.
True story.
Be all in that way.
For sure, man. One parlay that I'm definitely messing with this week is that Ohio Buffalo over 58. I'm parlaying that with Florida versus Tennessee. They got Florida at 17.5-point favorites. Now, if y'all haven't watched Florida play this year, I encourage y'all to tune in. Kyle Trask, that dude is the truth. I think he's going to be the steal of the draft next spring. To be honest, like he can make all the throws. He's got the size. He's got it from a mental aspect. It's a fun team to watch. I think they're going to wax Tennessee, so I'm gonna go ahead and parlay them as a 17.5-point favorite plus the Ohio Buffalo. I'm gonna just put 50 up. Try to get a nice little $130 return, and you know what I'm saying, go about my weekend the right way.
Right.
Hey, real quick, coming into the NCAA basketball, starting to get a little cranked up too. I think that's a good opportunity to take some of those calculated risks that Quan was talking about in college basketball. I think sometimes there's a more a deeper talent gap, if you will.
Boy.
I think people should be in tune to that. I definitely will be speaking a little more on college basketball in the future. I think that's a nice time to maximize.
And I'm glad you brought that up, man, because there are a ton of matchups in college basketball, ton of games going on all day, every day. So, yeah, we're definitely going to start getting into that. I know that the season just started, so I'm still trying to fill some teams out. I made that mistake doing a lot of betting in week 1 of the NFL season. I bet the house week 1, and I came out red that week. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to make that same mistake with college basketball. I'm going to try to watch a few, probably the rest of this week, next week, try to fill some teams out. I'm going to probably pick a couple teams to follow and just, stick to those games, man, because there's so much action in college basketball, man. It's just too much.
Bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of action.
And we got the NBA
that
coming
talent
back.
difference, bro.
NBA. Oh,
That's where the money's at. Them player props in the NBA. Oh, my goodness.
I think I gotta get it. I think I gotta get an NBA a few weeks though. Once they get going, man.
We got to see how these rosters are gonna blend. I think
we got a lot of new activity taking place in the NBA this year. A lot of trades, a lot of health, a lot of guys coming back healthy. You know what I'm saying? I got to give it a little time for myself.
Facts.
I'll tell you what though, one of the player props in the NBA I play the most is them 3-pointers. They'll have them set at the odds to make at least 2 3-pointers. Now some guys they'll clip that in the first quarter. Shout out my man Danny Green, man. I as much slack as he got, man, I cashed in on him in that what was it, game 6 they closed out Miami?
Right.
I bet on him to hit 2 threes. I think he had him in the first half, I want to say. And I know Quan, me and you took him the game before that when he missed the game winner. He still hit 2 threes that day.
Hey, money in the pot, money in the bank. Money in the bank,
he paid
baby.
Us. He had them death threats though. he had Danny Green's neck.
He could. Danny Green was not outside, baby.
Hey. All right, man. So collectively, as a unit, what are we taking this week, guys? What are we all gonna go in on together?
Ought to be that Buffalo, Ohio action.
Yeah.
So y'all wanna I don't know about y'all, man, but I'm feeling bold, man. Y'all wanna parlay or y'all wanna just play the spread and over straight individually?
I'm on a parlay for both of those.
Yeah, hit the parlay, John.
So y'all heard it here first. We're all in this Saturday for some action. Buffalo versus OU. We're taking the over 58, and we're taking Buffalo as 11-point favorites on the spread. We're going to parlay those. You heard it here first at All In. That's what we all in on. Y'all let us know what y'all all in on this weekend.